I have to get this out of the way early on. Hey, Ninth One, how you doing? Thief Kitty says hello. Meow. I'll go play. All right. Doing pretty good. I trust you have seen the news. So we're going to discuss the news because, we should discuss the news because I don't want to discuss it on Friday, but I probably will because there'll be more news because news is awesome. Sometimes news can be awesome. Sometimes news cannot be awesome. In this particular case, I'm going to sum up the news as interesting in a positive, cautiously optimistic way. All right. The news, of course, is that yesterday, a company called Enod Global 7, EG7, announced it is acquiring Daybreak Game Studio lock, stock, and barrel to the tune of $300 million United States dollars. And, of course, with that comes the fact that, Standing Stone is part of that sale. So that's the announcement. However, where did this announcement come from? What is the provenance of this news? First of all, it started out with a press release that ironically said, don't release this or distribute this in whole or in part, from EG7's website. That got published. Everybody went bananas. And then earlier today, they published an investor presentation for, obviously, investors. And they apparently did a live press release or a live announcement or something earlier today. But we're going to focus on the actual presentation because that's something that we can actually look at in terms of something it's more tangible that we can read. So I'm going to give you a link. So if you'd like to open this up, this is what we're going to be working from. So Enod Global is a Swedish company. And the agenda on this presentation, now bearing in mind, this presentation is for investors. It's for people who want to throw money at this company. So they explained who they are, who Daybreak is, and what the new plan is. And it's really actually interesting. A lot of these investor calls, like the press release yesterday was actually kind of dry and boring. A lot of numbers that made no sense to me is like all these tables and graphs. I'm like, what does this actually mean? So here's the bottom line. EG7, being a Swedish company, did something really cool. One of the things that we've had problems with Daybreak ever since it, was the weird-ass regeneration of SOE, was that Daybreak didn't tell us much of anything. I mean, they've been a good company behind the scenes. When it comes to talking to us, everything is about as sketchier as an Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah, this presentation was very well done, but at the end, the presentation wasn't for us. It wasn't for us players. It was for, people with actual money. So, their press release from yesterday basically just said, this is how much money we're going to spend and this is what we're going to get out of it, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot of boardroom speak. Basically, they entered into an agreement with the shareholders of Daybreak Game Company, LLC, Daybreak, to acquire 100% of the shares in Daybreak for a consideration of $300 million on a cash and debt-free basis. So, hey, Lexicon. Now, actually, a raffle, exclamation point, raffle in chat. There's two raffles actually going on. Exclamation point raffle is for an account-wide Tundra Cub code. Though if you already have one, I might be willing to switch it for another code that's also account-wide. Basically, one of my rewards for extra life. And I already have all of the things on the loot list, so it's like, I'll just get something to give away. Jerry's cooled up. So interestingly enough, the press release from yesterday says Daybreak is a leading game development company located in San Diego, California, with additional offices in Austin, Texas, and Needham, Massachusetts. Needham, of course, being Standing Stone Games. So what's listed in this is actually very curious compared to what's not listed in it. I think it's probably because it's so new, but there's no mention of Cold Iron Studios, which Daybreak announced they had bought like last month, and their office in San Jose. And also, there's no mention of Daybreak's older games. And this is actually coming up. One of the Facebook groups I'm in is for folks who used to play Landmark, because they're still salty about the loss of Landmark, and I understand that salt. Hey, I just got bounced to by a beautiful dwarf here. Stream bombing. Sorry about that. I'm gonna curtsy, or actually I'm gonna bow. Whatever. Yeah, he's not even gonna notice, but that's fine. I'm not even looking at him. We're being polite today. So I'm actually gonna play this character at some point. I'm gonna get my archer out. Why? Because he can. Yeah, ninth one, that's actually really exciting. So, let me link it in chat again, because I can do this. Because, you know, it's my own channel. So this was the investor presentation that got published today. And this is like the fancy small words, not quite small words, infographic. A lot of corporate speak in here, but also a lot of very juicy bits of information for us. One of the takeaways about this, firstly, this is a Swedish company, and Sweden has fairly strict rules about taking up personal space there. Jeez, oh Pete. He's like a creepy ex-boyfriend. About publicly traded companies, which means we got more information in this presentation than Daybreak has given us in the past 3 or 4 years. And there's a lot of really intriguing pieces of data in here, like player numbers, which basically for years, Standing Stone and then Turbine before, we're not going to tell you how many players you got. And we could only guess based on, Steam logins. We could guess based on a couple of third-party websites that previous community managers had called into question in terms of their credibility. I remember Freelorn saying something about that. Now that just may have been something to throw people off. There's also, of course, the fact that you could just literally go into any server, type O, and see displaying however many entries, and just realize that's the number of non-anonymous players on that server at that time. So they published player numbers in a way that we have not seen in years. So that's massive. They also published how much money the companies have been making, which we didn't know about. They also mentioned the other recent acquisition, Piranha Games, which if you'd watched today's DDO stream, Cordovan was on there. He was talking about how, yay, Mech Warrior license. It's oh, shush, Jerry, you just want to build minis again. So it's talking about the transaction structure, about how some stuff is going to happen up front, how some stuff is going to happen later, how much money they're going to make out of it, and what they're actually planning on doing. So getting past all the value chain stuff and the pipeline and whatnot, because that's all pretty much stuff from EG7. Now, the interesting thing about EG7 is they're a game company, a game investor company, versus whatever the hell Daybreak's previous ownership was like. Because quite frankly, there's some sketchy ass shit going on with all of that. We don't know. And there's too many conspiracy theories. The fact that the company wound up in like the New York Times or whatever because some Russian oligarch was involved. And I'm like, what? The whole Columbus and Nova thing that, oh, they didn't actually own us. I'm like, wait, what? We got gaslighted. We don't know. So it seems much better because now the parent company that's going to own Daybreak is not going to be some shadowy thing. We're not going to know, like, we didn't know what the hell is going on with that. And we're going to know a lot more simply because of the Swedish rules about publicly traded companies, which I'm all for. TD! So, first of all, they discuss, what was EG7, who they are, and the fact that most of their portfolio are game companies, game studios, like Sold Out Studios, Antimatter Games, Told Man. So they're a game-related company as their primary focus. They're not just like, oh, some investment company that's just going to buy a video game because video games are important right now. So they just bought Piranha, as I mentioned. They got Petrol. So they've got a lot of money coming from these companies, but they're looking to make some more. So here's something that's interesting. If you're looking to expand your portfolio, you're not going to buy a company that's running into the ground. And that's actually been a bit of conversation that a lot of the community have had or have wondered about. Somebody made this funny tweet that I saw, and I can't even remember where I found it. Somebody else quote tweeted it about how sometimes it felt like Daybreak was probably on a Massively article or something. Daybreak felt like it was being run by somebody, like it was being run like a company that was about to go bankrupt. And looking at the numbers published by EG7, that is not exactly the case at all. It's quite different. So they introduced Daybreak to their investors. They mentioned the executive chairman of Daybreak was Jason Epstein, who is apparently the sole owner from before. And there's some questions about that. The CEO of Daybreak, Ji Hum. And Jack Emmert is a name that we have heard before. Jack Emmert was revealed to be Severlin's boss in an interview that I did. Go me. Actually, that came out is because Severlin said so. Like, when I was interviewing him, he's like, oh yeah, he reports to Jack Emmert. I'm like, who the hell's Jack Emmert? And that was like the first time anybody had known since Turbine became Standing Stone Games who the hell was in charge. Or who was in charge above Severlin, and it was Jack Emmert. So Jack Emmert was the CEO, or is the CEO of Dimensional Inc., and he's listed in this thing as the CEO of Standing Stone. So he's the boss. Severlin's the executive producer. That makes sense. Darkpaw Games, who now runs EverQuest, they're run by an executive producer. Dimensional Inc. was Jack's own company, or own thing. It's like the company that was running DCUO, DC Online. And he had the title of CEO. So everybody thought that he was like in charge of all the Daybreak games. When everybody else was like an executive producer, so he had the bigger title. So that still seems to be the case. So that's interesting to me. So we're seeing actually some of the, the structure here, the hierarchy of the company. And they put in like a little timeline of, what Daybreak's journey was. And you also see mentions of games that no longer exist. Clone War Adventures. I know people who worked on that. PlanetSide, the original, I think was shut down. And one thing they're going to do in here is one of the things we as the community know that Daybreak had shut down a whole bunch of games. Landmark, EverQuest, next EverQuest 3, previous to that, Vanguard. Oh God, there's probably like 5 other ones. And yeah, Ninth Pond, that's one thing that I saw in all of this that's really meaty. Like, in previous documentations in the past, like when any news, like when Daybreak did anything, like when we were trying to find out who actually owned Standing Stone Games, that's one thing that came out of this is this was the official acknowledgement that, yeah, Daybreak actually owned Standing Stone Games. We didn't know that for sure. We all freaking suspected it, but we didn't know, and nobody was saying anything. I don't blame the folks at Standing Stone for not saying stuff. Certain things are not within their, what they're allowed to do. There's restrictions on what they can and cannot say. Surprise. So I'm suspecting that somebody higher up said, Corda, don't tell him you can't tell him about this. NDAs. Hey, Osiren. Welcome, Mr. Tuba. How you doing? For everybody showing up a little bit tardy, we do have a two raffles are going on right now. Exclamation point raffle will enter you into a drawing for an account-wide Tundra Bear Cub, which looks surprisingly like this. Boop. However, if you don't like the Tundra Bear Cub, I also have codes for the Spirit Bear, the Steed of the Red Dawn, a well-met title, a Perlino Steed, or a Carmelo Steed. So I might be willing to give you something other than the Tundra Cub if you don't want it, or you already have it. So we do get a little bit of a timeline on page 12 of Daybreak. You, hush. And I am interested to see that they do mention H1Z1, but they kind of forget about H1Z1 afterwards. The meat of this presentation is all about DCUO, EverQuest, and Standing Stone. So Lotro and DDO. They kind of don't really mention a lot of planet-side stuff, and they sure as hell don't mention H1Z1. So yeah, page 13 mentions globally recognized third-party IPs. So they recognize the value in these IPs. And that's something that kind of, DCO got mentioned a lot because it was a direct Daybreak venture through, inherited from SOE. But a lot of the previous press articles, and I was not guilty of this, I'll have you know, kind of didn't really mention Standing Stone at all. Like, when anything happened with it, it's like, they hardly, and like any of these big announcements would come out on Massively or MMORPG or Kotaku or Polygon or whatever, and everybody like, well, what does that mean for us? How does that affect us? And then we'd always have to have Cordova and go, no. Or Severlin. If it was that bad, everyone's like, nope, it has nothing to do with us. And the other raffle is exclamation point snowballs for the art raffle, by the way. All right. So moving on so it looks like the third-party IPs are one of the selling points. One of the things that EG7 wanted to have. So that means Standing Stone is valuable to them. And of course they mentioned their own, the Daybreak IPs, EverQuest, H1Z1, and PlanetSide. So here's page 15 of this presentation. Again, I'll link it in chat for those who didn't catch it the first 5 million times. Is this? Boop. This is what we're reading off of. So we're on page 15. Follow along. So here's the really, really interesting meat of the matter. This tells us exactly how much money each of these games were making. And they only mentioned 6 of the games, which is ironic. You don't see H1Z1 mentioned here at all. EverQuest, and they're talking about, when the game came out, what kind of game it is, and year-to-date bookings as of September 30th, according to the footnote. So all this detail is as of Q3, because we're in Q4 right now. And when they say member, they're referring to nothing inappropriate, unlike this, this statue down here that looks kind of inappropriate, this obelisk. But they're talking about monthly subscriptions. So Lord of the Rings Online, as of September 30th, had made almost $10 million. Now that's factoring in the cost of people buying subscriptions And, of course, all the other money that we shovel into the in-game store. Because we do. So, $10 million. Not bad for a 13, 14-year-old game. Nope. And it's talking about MAU, and then members. Here's the key number. 41,000 members. So 41,000 paying subscribers. What we don't know is whether that includes lifetimers like me. Or whether that's literally people who are paying month to month. I mean, if they're talking about people who are actively paying a monthly subscription, or if they're talking about people who are flagged as VIP, I don't know. MAU is monthly active users. So 108,000 monthly active users. So that means 108,000 different accounts. All you damn bands with 20 TD, you're 12 accounts. You're doing it. Lifetimes for the win, hell yeah. So monthly active users basically is accounts that log in. We don't know how long those logins need to be. I'm personally contributing to 7 of them, 8 of them, 9. Yeah, 9. The mighty 9. 7 in my band, my alt account, and this account. And the other game, interestingly, is Dungeons & Dragons Online. We are also very interested in that. And the numbers are actually intriguing there because their monthly to year bookings, which is how much money they've made so far, is 6.9 million. So we give them more money. However, they have half as many users, 22,000, but only 46,000 monthly active users. So it's definitely the music community and all of our alt accounts and bands and shit. No, I don't know. But it's actually very intriguing how we have we have twice as many users on the Lotro side, but definitely more than twice as many active users per month. So it's kind of interesting. 14 accounts. So let's move on to page 16, where if you want pie, there is pie. So basically, what this is by game, DCO has the when it says bookings, it's like, what the hell do they mean by bookings? That basically means how much money they can expect by the end of the financial year. So out of the piece of pie, DCO has 38% of that pie. EverQuest at 17%, Lotro at 14%, and DDO at 10%. But however, EBITDA, EBITDA, which I'm not entirely sure what that is. So let's go find out. Okay. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization is a metric used to evaluate a company's operating performance. Thank you, Wikipedia. Actually, it's corporatefinanceinstitute.com. So that's what that stands for. So the E is net income, I is interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So basically, this is how much money they make. So I find it so fucking hilarious that a 21-year-old game is actually bringing in the most amount of money for Daybreak right now. Go EverQuest. Thank you, Lexicon. So EverQuest, the original, brings in the most chunk of change. DCO brings the second most. And then Lotro comes in third at 15%. So one of the things that is I'm looking through this is they're looking at how much money they're making, how many users they have, and here's a really interesting figure here is they're looking at retention rate for continuing users on page 17, 60 to 80%. And you would think that's not a lot, right? But actually for an MMO like this, it's a hell of a lot. players are playing an average of up to 5 sessions. Well, they obviously haven't been playing concerts with TD at all. And about 40% of monthly active users are continuing users. And interestingly, they're talking about average monthly payer conversion. That's basically how many of the players they have are being converted into VIP accounts. Interestingly, Lotro is kind of lagging behind almost everybody, except ironically DCOO is lagging as well, and PlanetSide 2 kind of is in the basement there. But EverQuest 2 and EverQuest 1 are converting a lot of people to like monthly subscriptions. So it's really interesting how that works out. And they also mentioned like and this is what would make this attractive to an investor. How long have people been staying with these brands? How long have these accounts, been, sticking around? So Lotro actually has the second highest bookings by user cohort, which is how long have you had your Lotro account? So 80% of their users are been around for more than 3 years. That's pretty gosh darn amazing compared to, say, PlanetSide 2 at 65.7%, and they've been around since 2012, I believe. So they're basically looking at us as I wouldn't say a cash cow, not with like there's always greed involved, but I don't see this as a thing where they're looking at us to like get all of our money. Because there's one thing about companies in the EU, basically non-American companies, is that they tend to look at the long term, right? They're not looking to make a quick buck and get the hell out, which unfortunately is what American companies do a lot. They're looking at longevity to see, well, we already have this history. They have metrics to see how these companies are getting money out of us, and they see us as a reliable source of income. Well, see, actually, that's one thing that's kind of curious about some of what they've talked about Ninth Pawn is it sounded like the possibility that they might start folding in Standing Stone's stuff in with the overall Daybreak stuff, like you buy one big monthly subscription, you get access to all the games. That would be kind of cool. We don't know. Actually, I do remember the SOE All Access Pass. I used to have that for a while. It was like $30 a month. It was actually pretty cool. So here's the thing. The page 19 is the big kahuna. Okay? So they're basically talking about where they believe they're going to grow the most. And they're looking at fourth quarter next year for DCUO. Looking at doing some upgrades. But for the first time ever, Lotro is in the forefront. 2022, which is, quite frankly, a year and change from now. They're talking about this is an opportunity. Bearing in mind, we have to be very careful about this. This is not a plan in the works that we know about. Okay? This is where they could look at, this is something for the investors to say, hey, we've got this opportunity. We're going to, this is going to be something that's going to bring us some more money. It looks good on paper. How it comes out, we don't know. So the summary, and I'll read it here. Planning visual and technical updates for Lotro for PC and next-gen consoles to capitalize on Amazon's highly publicized large investment, approximately $500 million, in the Lord of the Rings TV series. Now, that does not say they're going to do anything with Amazon. This is basically their concept of, this is something that we could do, we could throw some money at in order to compete. And then they got some new project. They don't know when it's going to, unannounced project, TBA. We don't even worry about that. So what this means for us is that they're actively looking at the possibility of doing this. But they haven't, they as in the overall company. This is, honestly, I would be surprised if Standing Stone had any news about this before yesterday themselves, because that's not the way these things work. I worked in the cable industry. My company got bought out by another company. I work for Time Warner Cable. The employees in the trenches answering the phone, thank you for calling Time Warner Cable, how can I help you? We didn't know about the deal with Charter Communication until it had already been announced, until the investors had already been signed off and shareholders assigned, blah, 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 and that transition had already started. So, to see this, I can kind of see the folks in Standing Stone going, yay, we can hire more people, because that's what's going to take. One of the things, they go into more financial stuff that really, that doesn't really impact us directly, per se. They're just projecting what they're going to do. And there's, of course, the huge additional, what the legal structure is. This is actually interesting on page 28. This, I don't think, it doesn't make any sense to me. On page 28, it says the new legal group structure has Daybreak in its own thing, and then below that, it has Dark Paw Games on one side, Rogue Planet Games, who does Planet Side 2 on one side, and then below Dark Paw, we have Dimensional Ink and Standing Stone Games. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought Dimensional Ink would be the one, that doesn't make sense to me. But if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. The person that leaked this is not a leak, honestly. This was a presentation that was, this has to be publicly available. Again, it's a whole Swedish law thing. And there's some actual numbers about net revenue. So apparently Daybreak from January to September 2020 made $666 million. Or actually, no, I think this is in krona. This page it's SEC, so it's in Swedish krona. So yeah, this is all in Swedish krona. So, but 666. I giggle. So they're going into a lot of equity and liabilities and all this other fun stuff, and how the ownership will break down, who's going to own all the shares. And then there's pages and pages of risk factors. And risk factors are important, and they are legally required that they have to divulge these before anybody invests. So, again, it basically illustrates how risky it is to invest in a game company. But one of the cool things about all of this is they were talking about, at some point, numbers of employees. I want to find where that was. That might have been in the actual press release yesterday. Because I think they said something along the lines of Daybreak had 301 employees. Which I want to actually point that out. 301 employees across all of Daybreak Games. That includes, the home office in San Diego, Dark Paw Games, Dimensional Ink, Rogue Planet, and Standing Stone Games. Think about that. Let's assume, just for the sake of math, that each of those entities had an equal share of that number of employees. Let's say 300 employees. Five entities. Standing Stone, Dimensional Ink, Rogue Planet, Daybreak. I'm forgetting one. Dark Paw. Okay. Let me do the math. That sounds like 60 employees a studio, and they still put out 2 freaking games? Damn, Standing Stone, you good. Oh, interesting. EG7 stock price went up 27% today. Interesting. But what does that mean for us, what does that mean for Standing Stone Games? I mean, obviously this deal doesn't close until the end of the month anyway. So it still could get nuked from orbit. However, I kind of like it. Why? Because I like Sweden a lot. Two of my favorite kinnies in the Department of Homeland Security are Swedish. One of whom had never heard of this company before. But to be fair, I don't know the names of many investment firms in the United States either. So, go figure. So, this is the big piece. This actually makes it less jargon-filled, enough for us normal humans to understand. But the 2022 note about Lotro specifically, even if some of that stuff doesn't go off, oh my goodness. I mean, just to kind of put things in perspective in terms of company employees. Again, we're making assumptions here. I actually have a good, strong idea how many people work at Standing Stone because I've been there. I'm not going to tell you. But let's just assume each company gets an equal share in the 300 employees. So let's say they have 60 employees. I don't know. No, I'm not going to tell you. To put in perspective, Blizzard Entertainment employs about, what was the number? Last time I saw a group photo for just the World of Warcraft development team. This doesn't include data center people, ops teams, BattleNet people, any of the side, publishing, none of that stuff. The actual developers directly working on the game, 225 people. World of Warcraft, just one game. Now, Blizzard also has Overwatch, Diablo Immortal, WoW Classic has a completely separate team. Hearthstone. My friend Lance is playing Hearthstone right now, or will be soon. He actually works at Blizzard. Good times. Heroes of the Storm. But actually, yes and no. When I'm talking about the 225 people, that's the actual Team 2 that directly works on that game. As opposed to, say, my friend Taryn, who is one of the project directors for cinematics. He doesn't work for Team 2 specifically, though most of his work is in World of Warcraft. He also does work for Hearthstone and the other games, because he works in the story and franchise group. Like, he's in a completely different team. He just works with them. So the actual dev team for World of Warcraft itself, no customer service, no QA, none of the side stuff, 225 people. So Daybreak has 301 employees covering all of that stuff. All 4 primary studios, whatever the hell Daybreak's headquarters is, whoever is in charge of Hearthstone. So the fact that Standing Stone manages to put out 2 fully fledged games on a fraction of the staff. Yeah, and that also explains, like, a lot of the stuff we want them to, like, 75%, and this is just my pulling a number out of my ass thing, like, it feels like about 75% of all the upgrades and fixes and shit we want Standing Stone to do to make Lotro better is stuff they can't do because they don't have headcount. They simply don't have somebody there to do it. Like the whole 4K, hey, let's get 4K resolution. Oh, I love it. This is a 4K monitor. I can't play the game in 4K because the UI looks like shit. So my mind is going, like, if they actually commit to this Lotro upgrade, visual and technical updates, that's a lot of cool shit under the hood. They are going to need people to do that. They need to open up some headcount. They're going to be doing some jobs openings now that everybody can work from home successfully, unless your internet is out. that's pretty cool. The fact that they're willing to invest in that sort and to use this as a thing to get people interested in this, say, hey, we're going to actually try to compete with Amazon. Because before, Daybreak was like, yeah, we're just going to keep going. And Standing Stone's like, yeah, we're going to keep going until somebody tells us we can't. But now it's like, yeah, we can actually, when people would roll into the official channel and ask Cordovan, what do you think about the Amazon thing? And we're like, hey, we wish him well. But it's kind of like, what do you want the guy to say? You know, they knew they couldn't compete toe-to-toe with fucking Amazon and Jeff Bezos money. But now it looks like they may not be able to compete on that level, but it's gonna be... I think it's gonna be a little bit better. Gums Gang, how are you, my friend? Again, if you're late to chat, exclamation point raffle will enter you in a drawing for one of these. Right here. Boop. One of these little pets right here. Which I can't click on for some reason. That's okay. Or your choice of one of my other little codes here. What do I think about the Burger King thing? I don't know anything about the Burger King thing. Tell us about the Burger King thing, Gumpsang. While you're doing that, I am going to go do a quest. Because this is an easy quest. I'm going to take my little Tundra Cub with me. So, do I think this deal is bad for a Standing Stone? No. Do I think this deal is bad for us, the players? No. Do I really like the fact that, you know, for years we couldn't get Daybreak to give us the time of day on financials or numbers, and EG's like, boom, fuck that. I love it. Oh, I'm so happy about that. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, think Amazon is gonna buy them shit burgers made your way just for, oh, Gums, you silly boy. I haven't had chicken fries from I haven't had Burger King in years, so I don't know. But all in all, I know there's a lot of questions and concerns, and partly I think it's because I'm about to throw a be slightly unprofessional about a press site. But the folks at Massively OP do love their conspiracies. They do like to be rather snarky and negative about things. They love to laugh at the misfortune of others, so they do like to market a bit of schadenfreude. And as a member of the press, you really don't want to do that. You really shouldn't be doing that. So I actually rather appreciated the MMORPG article a bit more because it was more factual, less filled of emotion and personal biases. Even though, to be fair, their new managing editor is a big fan of Lotro. So he likes it. We're not going to do crafting. We're going upstairs. We got to go into the armory and find all the weapons that are stored and get lost in this. Why did you build this like this, you silly dwarves? So I think, to be fair, I also am slightly grumpy that half the time, actually every single time I do an interview with Standing Stone, somebody at Massively gets paid for it, and I don't. Because they go find my interview, scrape the content, don't quote me, don't actually name me as part of the byline, etc., etc. And, you know, whoever does that article gets paid. I don't think that's very nice, but, you know, it is the press thing where everybody's scraping everybody else's content. But at the very least, you know, there's professional and unprofessional ways of doing it. And there are people that I like who work there. My good dear friend MJ Guthrie is amazing. I love her. The bits and bits and bits. Would love to work with her. But yeah. I do prefer a less personal, less sitting around laughing at people sort of methodology to my press articles. Because one of the things you always have to remember in the game industry is that if you're sitting around laughing your ass off because of a failure of some part, or always peddling in conspiracy theories, then what you're doing is you're forgetting the people that are involved. And there's people at the heart of all of this. Oh, I wasn't naming any specific names at Massively. But I do know that, you know, I actually really thought it was interesting that on the initial article that was published yesterday, after the press release had gone out, but before the investor document went out that we've all been reading, is that Mark Jacobs of City State Entertainment was commenting on the whole 9 yards. And Mark is a really awesome dude. I've hung out with him, done interviews with him at DragonCon. And he had some thoughts on the whole matter. And because he works in those high-level, CEO positions sort of thing, so he has more ties with the business end of things than necessarily a frontline developer would. So his comments were interesting, to say the least.
The siege defenses seemed in a poor state, even to my casual eye.
Alright. Let's go send the craftsman out to do some work. But I think in all, things are revolting. The mountains are shaking. And all of a sudden we were sent to send out 4 craftsmen. And we got interrupted.
Did you feel that? What is happening?
Actually, you bring up an interesting question, Osiren, do I think Sev's chat was related to the timing of this acquisition? No. In fact, I would say none of the recent decisions and initiatives announced by Standing Stone have anything to do with this sudden acquisition. Because it's a sudden thing from our perspective, and it's possible that Sev probably knew. I'll bet you $5 Cord didn't know, because you don't tell your community manager until you're ready to announce something. I would say Sev probably knew some of it, but probably not a lot of it ahead of time. But Jack Emmert was his boss and the CEO, so it would have been more his thing to announce to the rank and file what the hell was going on. But that's actually one of the conspiracy theories people have been having. It's like, well, this must be why they did this, or this must be why they're going to do that. I would say nothing they have announced until yesterday have anything to do with the announcement of the sale. I mean, I can see why people would, consider the causality, but there's no causality here. Well, it'll be hard to see if any of Sev's plans for the rest of the year will still happen. Here's the thing, nothing is changing hands until the end of the year anyway. The deal hasn't closed. The deal could still fail. Until the deal closes, everything is still up in the air. So, from Standing Stone's perspective, it's business as usual. They're gonna behave, at least until the end of the year, as if nothing got announced. And I'll tell you, the reason Sev came to talk to the community, because we fucking needed it. Okay? Here's one thing that's different between Lotro and DDO. The DDO community pretty much manages on its own. It doesn't need to have reassuring chats with the executive producer. They can handle themselves. They're old tabletop players. They'll discuss things on the forums, but in general, they don't need to talk to Sev every 5 seconds. We kind of do. Because we're a little bit more rambunctious. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why they're assuring us that we're getting new executive producer letters sooner, because honestly, they kind of slacked on them the past couple of years. And I know that we got disappointed with the fact that we didn't get ours until April, and we all thought that was unacceptable. So I think partly they're going to do their producer letter based on, getting the news out when they actually intended to do so last year. Like last year they intended to get them out in like January, but shit happened and that didn't happen. So I think they're actually going to try to do better about that. So I think, the chat really went pretty well. Speaking as a Lotro stream team moderator, I was kind of concerned that some people would come into chat and be complete and utter assholes. And by and large, people weren't. I was actually pleasantly surprised at how well that went. Yeah, there has been a lot of shit happen this year. That is definitely the case. And the fact that the company is still pretty much gotten much of its stuff going. Like, they talked about, the producer's letter there's some things that have slipped from the producer's letter. The Eye of Sauron server, the small LI upgrade, but a lot of that can be attributed to the fact that Sev was fucking honest about the fact they got DDoSed. The server shenanigans were with Standing Stone getting DDoSed. He mentioned these malicious actors several times. Like, dude, you just admitted you got DDoSed. And that sort of honesty, it's like, why didn't you just tell us that? We appreciate honesty. There's obviously a case against being too honest. Like, you can't put all of your cards on the table, but something like that, you can say, yeah, we got DDoSed. That costs you nothing, but it actually gains you goodwill for that sort of honesty, and just a level with players on that fact. And also, some people are still pissy about the server downtimes, and it's like, if you had said up front that you got DDoS, then people would be a little bit more understanding and be a little more angry at the people doing the DDoSing than the people who are the subject of the DDoSing, more spaghetti code to unravel for the LI. Honestly, Gumpsgang, I think what they're going to wind up having to do is rip out LIs and do them all over again. Just from the ground up, redesign the whole fucking thing. Because, yeah, and here's the thing. Sev is an engineer. Like, all the times I've been to the studio, okay, all the times, like, I'm there every other week. Once a year, I go visit the studio. Actually, it was twice a year, the year I made the kilt for Jerry, but, I'm gonna turn this off. Every time I've gone to the studio for PAX, and I pass by Severlin's office, firstly, his door is literally open the whole time. Like, every time I see him the dude is not working on paperwork. Okay? Dude is working on some code. He'd actually say, yeah, I was working on some code for whatever. I'm like, he's the executive producer, but he's actually, one of the actual engineers who works on the game, so that's pretty cool. That means that he's not a paper pusher so much. I think he kind of hates it. Just sounds like he kind of hates that. And that's also one of the reasons why they're hiring a producer for Lotro, but they're not hiring one for DDO. That's interesting. Firstly, DDO doesn't need one, I don't think. The dev team there is a lot more hands-on with the player community. It's a different environment. And you need that more hands-on sort of thing. Yeah, Sev does more work on DDO than Lotro. That's just the nature of the beast. So if he can get someone to take some of the producing stuff, and now a video game producer is like a television producer. You're not actually writing the script for the TV show. You're not actually directing the actors and telling them where to stand and how to say their lines. You're the person who makes sure all that shit happens. You're the one who gets the director there on time. You're the one who assigns the meetings. You're the one who... Honestly, it's more of a paperwork job than it is actually working directly on the game. At least that's what the way it is with most companies and most game producers that I'm aware of. So this means this is somebody who's going to take a lot of the paperwork, the bureaucracy off of Severland so he can have more time to do actual, work. Engineering, coding work, direct hands-on shit with the games, which I think is going to be good for him. And good for the game. See, Gums, Seth isn't the DDO guy. Not like Cord is the DDO guy. Seth is the Asheron's Call guy. People. I know there's people who miss Asheron's Call so much, like my aforementioned friend Taryn from Blizzard loves Asheron's Call. He misses that game so much. At Gen Con some years ago, I don't remember, a couple of years ago, Seth told me that Daybreak wouldn't let him bring Asheron's Call from Turbine. So that's why Turbine still has Asheron's Call. Well, Turbine doesn't technically exist anymore. Anyway, it's WB Games Boston. Because, why not? They make mobile games, Batman games and whatnot, so. So, yeah. Seth is more of a DDO guy, to be fair, but he's not the DDO guy, Though, I don't think many of our Lotro-specific people are aware, but Cordovan, for example, founded DDO Cast, which is airing right now. They're actually broadcasting. They're probably talking about some of the same stuff right now, too. So he went from being a fan in the community, and having founded the now longest-running DDO podcast out there, and to somebody who actually works at the company. Let's have the mountain shake again. So... But one of the cool things about Standing Stone as a company is that, by and large, it's the people who came from Turbine. It's the dev team that, were making these games from day one. Like, Main of Lions has been there since day one, since before day one. Chris Pearson, Scenario, Matt Elliott. I think Vastin is also one of those OG Turbine folks. So... We're very fortunate that we have a lot of veteran people who love the hell out of these games. Please feel free to post interesting MMORPG, Lotro news, and Brigman's Discord if you see updates. Sure. I always generally post them, Mike, because I don't want to... And you're generally the guy who posts the stuff in Bergman's anyway, so I don't want to step on any toesies. So, there's that. Elda and I have dibs on who puts things in various places. Wait a minute, that sounded way wrong! Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed now. But we have a dev team that is dedicated to us, not as a source of money. Not even the e-commerce people are. I've talked to SSG Red Panda on more than occasion. I actually watch him when he's streaming games in Chinese, which I find very fascinating to listen to. They don't see us as walking wallets for them to dip their hands in. They're looking at ways to keep the game going so they can keep making it so they can play it. It was actually really funny. Was it last week or the week before last? I found out that a member of the dev team was a huge fan of a specific song by they posted a video of a specific song, and I'm like, and I thought of TD and like, it'd be really cool, I could have somebody play that song for you in 12 parts in game in Lotro, and they're like, really? And so I got them to show up to TD's round robin that night, and they listened, and then I was like, wait a minute, their character name looks real familiar. And I went and looked, and that person was crashing my extra life stream. It's like, that person. Oh my gosh, I wish I had work from home as well. I wish I had work, quite frankly. But yeah, if I see stuff, I will post it in Brigman's Discord. I only keep track of certain things. Like Lotro and DDO news are most near and dear to my heart. Occasionally WoW stuff, But, and And one of the things that really pisses me off is whenever players say, "You don't play the game. Do you guys even play the game?" I'm like, yes, they do. I have definitive proof that at least one person on the dev team plays the game and plays it a lot. I mean, to be fair, it's not the same as like Star Wars: The Old Republic, where their executive producer Keith Koenig has probably more active characters on his account than any 3 players, and he's all up in that game's business. He will PvP your face off. He will be in operations, which are, raids or whatnot. So that's his thing, is like, he's the guy who plays SWTOR. He's one of the fan base. We have a little bit different. We shouldn't expect that level of devotion and that level of active gameplay on the part of our devs, but they do play the game. They're not just making changes based on spreadsheets. Okay, Vastin does that, but that's not all he does. Okay, Vastin also showed me why it's a very bad idea for us to have Weatherstock at the top of Weathertop, because they have so much shit hooked into the top of that space, and we kind of break it every year. So of course they do. Made of Lions, of course he does. Yeah, Ninth Pawn, yeah. Keith Koenig is, oh my god, he's a really nice guy, the SWTOR EP. Oh my god, he's such a sweetheart. But he is so in love with that game. But our devs are in love with our game too. They're just more quiet about it. But yeah, they do play the game. The thing is, they don't play the game as much as we do, right? They can't. Because quite frankly, it's kind of like if you worked at McDonald's, you sure as fuck don't want to have McDonald's for dinner. You want to cleanse your palate with something. You also want to see what other people in the industry are doing, because that's how you generate ideas for they kind of, and here's the thing about the game industry. Just because Blizzard is, one company and Standing Stone is another company, they're not fighting amongst each other. Like, No Bob, one of our Lotro devs, used to work on DDO. He used to work on WildStar in California with my former editor, Dee Hollis, who now works at NCSoft still. And so the companies themselves are technically in competition. The employees aren't. They all hang out with each other. They're all friends. Oh, work time is over! Remind him he could create a public space for Weatherstock that has no hooks. That would be interesting. I don't know how you'd manage that. You have to maybe make a Weatherstock portal someplace, and it takes you to an instance version of Weatherstock without all the quest hooks. That would be interesting. That'd be more of a scenario thing than a Vastin thing. I think Vastin was just, he was the one talking to me at the time. It was actually really cool to see. But with reference to the EG7 acquisition, overall I think it's going to be a good thing for the company. Because they're now going to be with a publicly traded company that is required by Swedish law to divulge certain things that we could never get answers to. And things that are, quite frankly, can be reassuring to us. It's like, the whole, oh my god, Lotro or DDO is a dead game. Oh my god. How do you know it's a dead? We don't know how many players. 500 and some odd players on one of your primary servers at the prime time? How is that game living? How are they making money? Well, because a shit ton of us spend a lot of money on it. Alright, let's go talk to Botus inside Thraskar. He's down here by the door. I'm gonna de-summon the pet, because I don't want the pet running around and getting itself killed. And again, if you're in chat, ! Raffle will enter you for a drawing for one of these Spirit Tundra Cubs, or a code of my... I have other codes if you already have it. Also, if you want a portrait of your character, I have Snowballs as that one. And we'll be drawing the raffle winner for the Tundra Cub or associated other code of your choice. Let's say 10 o'clock. We'll call it at 10. The stream will be going till 11 because that's what I do. And maybe we'll actually get some gameplay out of this. Wouldn't that be nice? I've done one quest. Been here an hour and 10 minutes. One quest. I'm so good. Weeping Warrior! Oh, I get a class trade point! And I get a cloak that's still... Actually, it's an upgrade! Oh, it's my first upgrade! Goofy old lady! You like the discussion? I'm enjoying the discussion. I love having y'all here. But there's a couple of ways you can tell a game is healthy. Is when the trolls roll into the stream, go dead game, because you know whatever. Also, when you have the gold sellers in chat saying, "Come buy our gold," it's like, yeah, fuck off. I will buy them directly from Standing Stone. I will play the game to get gold. Alright, let's go talk to Durin. And defend Scarhold. Oh, that's right. It's this quest. And so that's the giveaway for a character portrait, ! Snowballs. And the reason I use snowballs is if... snowballs in a rather hilarious song... one of the bands, I think it was Paperia, had been singing. I had to turn off the profanity filter so I could understand the song because it kept filtering it out. So, goofy old lady, I'm sure you saw the news about Daybreak being acquired by EG7. We had a good long discussion about what that means for us, the players. I am cautiously optimistic. I believe it will be good for us in the long term. Mainly because, again, European companies don't think of quick cash grabs and get the fuck out. They think in terms of long-term investments. And they see a player base like us, having been here for years and years and years and years and years, as a solid investment in the future. What I'm seriously hoping this means is Professor Corey might actually finish the Fellowship of the Ring in Exploring Lord of the Rings. Yeah, part of it while you're eating dinner. Nice. If Primini wins, are you going to draw her blue? If that's her favorite color, TD. And I'm going to post the link to the investor presentation that gives all the really good details. And the slide I'm most excited about is page 19. But there's some other really good stuff in there to read. A lot of stuff that I personally don't understand because I don't have an MBA. Like she got hit with a snowball blue. Oh, wow. Well, see, Gumps, I said the Fellowship of the Ring. I didn't say the entire trilogy. I think his sons are going to have to finish that for him. And by the way, if anybody has to leave early and is concerned about the raffles, if I can find you later, and you don't have to be present to win. I just have to be able to find you later. I just have to be able to find you. Well, they're talking about stuff here in Stina's Discord too. So the other thing that came about in the presentation that I have not actually talked about in that page 19 thing is the concept of Lotro possibly going to next-gen console. We know Cordovan has been trying to get Lotro and DDO to work with a controller, but that's not the same as being on a console. Because you can't have all of this mess here, like, you know, There's no way to do 5 million different buttons on a console. It's just not gonna happen. But there are ways that can be done. But... Ah! Why am I getting dinged? Oh. Hi, Gumps. How you doing? Alright. Oh, hey! Look at that! Lotra retweeted Master Vethlo's pictures of the Minstrels of Middle-earth St. Andrew's Day concert on Landerville. Somehow an entire band got on top of the archway by the legendary vendors in Bree. That's fucking amazing. I love that. Page 19. Page 19. So we're going to shout page 19 being our thing here. Looking to make sure I'm not missing anything in all the discords. Oh, Friday's court stream. Well, here's the thing, Gumps. What's really interesting is those of us who actively mod for Court of the Rings generally expect the worst and are then pleasantly surprised when it's not. So... I don't want to get myself into the mindset of like, oh, it's going to be okay. I always should go into it with the expectation that people are going to be out of hand. Oh, Ninth Pawn, you didn't see Cordovan on his DDO stream today. He has hotbars going from like the bottom here where my... Well, you can't see it. Okay. Basically from the bottom of my cup... Right? You can't see it because I'm on my gray horse icon. Like, hotbars going, like, all the way up here to, like, where my quest is. Like, how the fuck, Jerry? How do you manage that? I don't know how he manages it. I don't know. Alright, we're gonna fight! Oh, he was one of the ones... Yeah, I think I remember seeing you in DDO stream today. It's like, how the fuck? I mean, to be fair, my level 23 cleric is a little bit out of hand too, but not 18 freaking hot. Okay, I think they have 20 hotbars in DDO. I seem to recall they have actual 20. Yeah, the fuck. Yeah. I know that was pretty exciting. Hinting that they're gonna do a new classic, a classic module early or sometime next year. Whoa, no, I'm stunned because holy shit, dragons! Multiple deaths, actually. He actually wasn't too bad until like the end of the stream. But his problem is that he's running solo and he's not using his hirelings well. I seem to remember having a trouble with this quest because I like aggroed all of the things. Frick you! Actually, wait, I'm on my own channel. Fuck you! You know what? I forgot to name my dude as my shield brother as well. Let's do that real quick. The good news is I now have Arid Mithrin. You know, oh wait, I'm sending in my AoE. No, that was their AoE, my bad. Hey, I didn't hit that button. Get out of their AoE. And don't laugh at my champion skills. I'm so bad at champ. I haven't played champ in forever. I never played it credibly. I'm sorry, not champ, but captain. I'm playing a captain. Go get him, Durin! I remember dying on that phase as my champion, though. What do you want? Well, somebody knocked the ballista over. What do you want? No, they're being overrun! Talk to Durin in the upper courtyard. What you got for me, Durin? You love all the new dwarf content? Nice. Being an elf, I don't mind it one way or the other. You thought I was playing champ? That's probably a lexicon. I just kept saying champ, even though I didn't mean champ. Though I am definitely more used to playing a champ because, hello, my very first character ever was a champion. By the way, if you ever wanted to know what the slug pet looked like from the Extra Life campaign, that's what it looks like. Slimy the lively slug. Would you attack that, please? This one... Okay, we'll attack the one down here, apparently. Or the two down here. Okay. Let's get rid of the slimy slug pet, because it's distracting. There. Not so bad. Wow, Durin's doing the jumping off of the rails thing. Okay. Rude. I'm actually looking forward to the one thing that Sev did mention in his Q&A, that they're talking about these lost tales, or, well, Maid of Lions went onto the forums later on and said he's not calling them lost tales himself because, of course, that points back to the lost tales published by Christopher Tolkien, and that's not valid content for this game. Go get him, champ. Uh-oh. Just when you thought you'd won. So it sounds kind of like they're going to be telling the stories of places. The victory short and unnecessary to prove. Well, that's gonna just piss the dwarves off. I mean, obviously, it sounded like they were talking about the Wildwood area between Evendom and Trestlebridge. I mean, that's the obvious solution. But it sounds like they're probably also going to be adding stuff to the game not related to that. Because that sounds like it was a specific level 45 to 50-ish kind of area. So the notion of them adding a new zone but not level cap zone, very interesting. But also level agnostic content, oh my goodness. You flew over when you had the flying bug a few weeks ago and you didn't take video? How dare you? You call yourself a streamer. So any other points of that presentation that are intriguing to you of sorts? I mean, obviously Sev posted on the forums because the forums exploded with people like, what's going on here? And of course all the conspiracy theories. And of course he had to say something, right? And he said something similar on both Lotro and DDO side of things. The Lotro one was a little more specific. It mentioned the Gundabad expansion. But all very interesting stuff. All right, let's go. Alas for Botus. Hi. Hello. How's the big kitty cat? Look at the kitty cat. Everybody look at the cat. Because he's pretty. And he purrs a lot. I should call him Sir Purrs a lot. What do you think? Should I call you Sir Purrs a lot? He doesn't care. You've been wondering if Standing Stone had another MMO in the works? I don't think so. Well, again, you have to be very careful about this update or the 2022 plans. Again, they're just an opportunity for growth. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it. It's basically something shiny to reassure the investors that there's a long-term goal in mind here. Why am I getting notifications in somebody's Discord? Whose Discord is it? That's a Pulu's. Oh, Gumps, you did it again. It's like, I have all these Lotro-related Discords that I'm in. I'm like, I can't read them all. I love you all, but I can't read them all. But I have a kitty, and he's got a tail. Look, he's got a tail. He's like, I'm comfy. I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, I need my hand. He's all curled up now. He's happy. Aren't you? Aren't you happy? He's so happy. Oh, look at the chin tickles. It's chin tickles. Alright, let's talk to Durin.
Kara's got toys with us. He had the advantage, but he did not press it.
Who will lead the Jaeruka? Who will organize the defenses? Find a lieutenant to lead them. Why do I have to find his lieutenant? Well, I'll go with the quest arrow points. So we're chapter 8.7, Enoch the Brash. Uh-huh. This will be interesting. He is a happy kitty. He is a handsome boy. He actually turned 15 in October, so he's old. He's an old boy. Very set in his ways. You're also drooling. You'd rather have Lotro in VR? Hell no. And here's why I wouldn't want to have Lotro in VR. No hand railings. Also, the fact that VR tends to make me nauseous.
Lotus was supposed to lead us here in the Grey Mountains. Who will lead us now?
It has to be you! Take up the axe! Alright. Talk to Durin. Who's over here? See, Lotro in VR would actually be... It'd be cool as if you could just basically go tourist mode. Other than that, I personally wouldn't want Lotro in VR.
If I once believed the ill fortune of the Joruka had been exaggerated by the bards, I do no longer.
Aw, pains you that did happen. Aw. Alright. We're gonna pick our cloak, which will be an actual upgrade for the very first time since I started getting this character back up to speed.
When Kara's got our next attacks, we must be ready.
Oh, I get to tell them stories? Aw. I will tell them a story about how the parent company got bought by a Swedish company with a pretty good track record. I'll tell them that story. They'll cheer them up. I am with you, Siren. They better leave the fucking skybox alone. Hell yeah. Okay, quest available. Introduction to the Veils of Anduin. Oh my god! Following the story of the Black Book of Mordor, Chapter 10 will bring you naturally to the Veils. Chapter 9 is available by speaking to Durin on the upper level of Scarhold. We will accept your quest. We will X out of that and we'll go see, can I spend my class trait point? I cannot. I only have the one. I need 2 to spend anywhere else. The plastic, yeah, the character models are fair game. An update to things that cause lag. An update to the music system, fixing the goddamn horn bug would be amazing. But would I want it to become a realistic looking game? No. No. Mm-mm. Why? Because there's plenty of those. Zeldruka's role in the great mending of Yarnfast. Zeldruka did amazing things there, but forgot to fix their own house. You remind him of his courage. I think I would like to see some better character rigging, character models. Particularly like how like male elves look like they're walking like they're puppets running, and it looks like they're, you know, the strings of the puppets are like here on their shoulders. It looks very strange. But yeah, I think there's definitely some graphic updates they can do to make the game better, and also things that will help lag under the hood. I mean, they said graphic and technical upgrades. So that the technical upgrades would actually be more important than the graphic ones, in my honest opinion. But they have to hire people to do that, so. And of course, that's over a year away, so we don't know how that's going to pan out. Hopefully well. Hopefully well.
It will take more than words to cure these ills. It will take action.
See if the bodies of the dead dragonkind might be set aflame. Let's set some dragons on fire! And pick up some weapons. And we'll talk to Enoch as well.
Ask to retrieve Boltus's axe.
Troll splitter. I will not stop you, but I will bring it to me rather than the son of the Longbeard King. Botus Frostblood was of the Gelruka. His axe should be wielded by one of his people and no other. Dwarf names it Troll Splitter, but if he were the right successor to Botus, he would speak the dwarf name and does not. I will tell you the axe's true name is Velik Kolun, and I name it such. Do as Doran asked. Bring Velik Kolun to me before you turn to him. Yes, because that makes sense to me. The axe should belong to its own family, I'm guessing. Anyway, let us keep going. I'm going to set things on fire, which for a character named Phoenix sounds like a really great idea. Porting to next gen does sound, do I have any thoughts on them sunsetting the old expansion bundles? Yes, I do have thoughts on that. Basically, they're getting rid of the old store entirely. The only question I personally have about sunsetting the old bundles is if they're going to come up with new bundles with new goodies to go along with them, like new cosmetics or whatever, they really need to make a standalone purchase of those items for those of us who want to buy everything. What I kind of think it might wind up being is kind of like how they did the new version of Helm's Deep, where you didn't get the 1,000 Locho points with it anymore. But you could buy it for, you know, for real money. You just didn't get the Locho points. So I'm kind of thinking they'll probably sell versions of it that don't have the goodies in them. What I'm kind of hoping it means that they're going to do is that they're going to make like an updated version of the quad pack, but have it be everything except like Mordor onwards. Or if they're gonna just make it Mordor without the extra goodies, make a quintuple pack. Or basically make a new pack that's all of the old expansions up to like the 2 most recent ones. Now that we've got Minas Morgul and now War of Three Peaks. A quint pack? A 6-pack would be cool. Except, you know, there's the whole alcohol thing.
In memory of Portus.
Okay. Join the hunting party and kill things. I will do that. Porting to next-gen consoles, that is going to take some doing. I mean, the game itself is fine, except for this whole mess right down here. They would have to seriously simplify all of the class. I mean, it's kind of like how you can play Diablo 3 on console, but Diablo was already created with a console in mind. You can play it on the Switch. So it was already created where you have like 5... skills that you can use. Not 25 skills. Yeah, and actually, Siren, that's a really valid point. It's always been an issue, is the simple fact that buying the old expansions has always been too dear. Having the summer-long sale was amazing. And I'm sure those numbers... factored into the decision. Like, we don't know yet. We probably will actually find out what those numbers look like now that the new company is coming in to buy Daybreak. But we don't currently know the metrics of how well that worked for Standing Stone. Like, how much revenue did they lose on having the entire game for free for the entire summer, and then having the old expansions available for 99 Lotro points? We have no idea. But I'm hoping we'll find out. There's an upgrade. A distinct upgrade. I'm out of Pepsi. This makes me sad. And of course, this will be agility, and that will be will. So we'll take this and run away with it.
Horin has assembled a raiding band to hunt for Karasgar.
Let's talk to Vutro. Alright, let's first of all equip this ring we got, and equip the cloak. Let's see. The ring is going to go in place of that ring? Nope. Goes in place of the other one. Let's unlock that. Snowballs! You're just happy that your Alta Lotro account never got the quest packs? Hell yeah. I'm out of touch on the how best to play Lotro as a lifetimer. You just show up. Are we all done about... No, we're not done talking about it, Sarg. Is there anything you want to talk about with regards to it? Have you read the investor presentation that is full of amazing, awesome, good shit to discuss? Here, let me link it to you. I mean, it's all over the Discords, but I'll drop it into a chat again because I can. It's my channel. I can do that. Ding. There you go. Page 19 is the really intriguing bit. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Things to think about. To quote Brack. Alright. I got some modes of enchantment! And I leveled up my legendary item. Alright. Well, let's go talk to Vutro. Hopefully we might actually get finished with Chapter 9 tonight and get ready to move on to the Veils of Ondavine with this character, which is pretty impressive. So Mech Warrior devs are the same creep as Lotro. Yeah, Sarg, actually, it's really funny you should mention that, because when Cord was on the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream today... Wait, I need to go this way. Yeah. He was actually super stoked about that. Yep, Strider in the snowball pit! Well, we gotta go this way. And there's a reason I'm not riding my steed, my war steed, through this place. Because, yeah, no, we're not doing it. So there's a lot of interesting, I mean, there's a lot of corporate speak. Now that, again, is an investor presentation. that info is not really written for us players in mind, but there's definitely some stuff we can glean from reading it. The interesting thing is the fact that they featured Lotro and DDO, but mainly Lotro, fairly prominently in that discussion, which means that they're on an equal footing with the rest of the Standing Stone or the rest of the Daybreak portfolio in terms of how important they are to the top end. So it's super exciting.
Why you are here.
Oh, your thirst for vengeance. Vutro's reluctantly agreed to stay behind. Aww. Let's go back upstairs to talk to Durin. So, again, in the long and short of it is, I think this will be a good thing for the company, because again, European companies tend to look more in terms of longevity and long-term investments versus, you know, short-term cash grabs. You know, quite frankly, I think a lot of us pretty much understood the year-long. The thing they did with Lotro where they sold like 1 year of VIP with some goodies, and then on the DDO side they sold a 2-year season pass that's about to come to an end. I'm so sad because I spent $300, but I got my $300 worth out of that. Oh my god. Back when I had $300 to spend on shit like that. Not anymore. I save all my rubles to get the...
If you wish to join Horan's raiding party, now is the time.
Okay, well, we're not going to join, the Anvil of Winterstith raid.
Sure Skarhald is ready if Karasgar does return.
We are going to go talk to Kamat in the upper level of Therazar. We're going to get a pair of pants. And the pair of pants in this case are not going to be an upgrade, only because I'm wearing a don't tell Chromite I almost said teal. A cyan. Don't tell Chromite I said that. Shh, don't tell Chromite. But yeah, they'll be part of the same corporate structure, which means, interestingly, this means that Cord will be able to start having meetings not only with folks in San Diego and Austin, Texas. He'll have meetings with people in Sweden. That'll be cool. It reminds me of the time when I worked at Time Warner Cable back when it was still owned by Time Warner, the parent company. And I could have at the time sent internal office IMs to people at Turbine. Because Turbine was owned by still owned by WB. But, yeah. There once upon a time I could have just sent internal IMs from the cable company to somebody at Turbine.
You were sent here by the Longbeard Prince.
Oh, the crystal tunnels! Oh, I remember this quest. The crystal tunnels. I kept getting lost. Teal's perfectly acceptable. Shush. Now, bearing in mind this character was a level... Was she a 105? Yeah, she was a 105 Valor. So I don't have, like, the really sexy, cool, imbued first agers on her. I do have a first age weapon that I'm using. And I have a first age... captain symbol. Don't I have... And 10 minutes to the end of the raffle for a Tundra Cub, by the way. Don't I have a cleanse of some kind? And yes, I went and bought all the freaking Harold's at the store. Because I'm that dork. All the pets. Cleanse corruption? Well, it's just corruptions. I'm looking for a generic, like, something similar to purge poison for a hunter. I don't think Cappies have one. Or I'm dismissing it entirely. Must not I am Turbine Crew. Well, back at the day I wasn't as in the community as I am now. I didn't really care about the dev studio that much. It's like, oh hey, it's a Lord of the Rings game. That was before my tenure joining the community good and proper and making friends in it and shit. I mainly played the game by myself. You don't remember these quests? These are from the Black Book of Mordor. So I don't know, have you done the Black Book of Mordor? So we had fun last night with Professor Corey, whom I did talk into getting a 120 Valar for his character Narnian. Narnian, of course, being his lore master character who goes running around various parts of Middle Earth. And he decided it'd be really cool to go visit the Gladden Fields as a level 95 lore master with no gear on. And it was okay until the part where he died, and we kind of had to go res him. And we couldn't res him because he was under level. He couldn't take the milestone. He couldn't click on the milestone because he was under level. So the fact that he now is on a 120 means we can take him anywhere in game, and if he dies, we can res him and he'll show up right there, as opposed to, you know, back in Bree, which is what happened last week. I love these crystal caves, except they're purple and not blue. Because you know me, I like not jumping down there. Not jumping down there either. Go down the other way. Gears for the week. Gears and illusion, lunchtime doubly so. Isn't that the quote? TD loves this appearance because this is the Indigo Plant band uniform. Where's my dude? You're just screwing around? Okay, you do that. Yes, I know I have a bleed on me. Nothing I can do about it. Well, I have potions for that, but pots are for the weak. Oh look, they respawned. Hi. I've lost my archer. My archer has lost his way. Except now he's over there. Shooting from a distance! Good man! Good elf. You only wear drops until level 100? Fair. Okay, find the bottom of the tunnel. Oh, crap. Hi. Look, Ma, no hands. At least Yeah, made it easy to find the bottom of a tunnel. That's true. Well, there was a hole in the tunnel that we saw. Where was it? It was down this way. Right down here. Meanwhile, my Herald is probably, most likely, aggroing the entire damn tunnel on the way down. That's fine. I'm yelling at a bat! See? This is gonna be amazing. Still probably gonna die. I'm not careful here. Cannot help target. Stay on target. Stay on target. So there! 2 minutes for the raffle, exclamation point raffle in chat for an account-wide Spirit Cub Bear. If you already have one, I have your choice of one of a select bunch of other possibility items. I'm going up. This does not look like finding the way out of the tunnel. That looks pretty. Gotta go to the bottom of the tunnel, not up through the tunnel. Looking for something that goes down like a $20 sex worker on a Friday night. Well, I think this was the hole we were just in. Let's go through that other tunnel. Oh, shush you. Now you have to do it without the quote marks, Sylvan Dryad. Yeah, so you got it the first time. The reason we put quote marks around it is so the bot doesn't pick it up. You're fine. Let me kill this mob here real quick. And then we can draw a winner. Alright. Don't anybody respawn until I get done with this. Check on the bean. Aww. Okay. Giveaway. Close. Giveaway. Draw. Tuba! Woot! 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 Go Tuba! Go Tuba! Go Tuba! All right. Let me send you a Twitch Whisper. Mr. Tuba. Over here. Here's your code. Please. First of all, Tuba, do you want the Tundra Cub? Or if you don't want it, you have a choice. Like if you already have it, for example. Your choice is... Survey says there's the file. You could choose a well-met title. Again, that's account. These are all account-wide. I made a spirit bear pet, a Perlino steed mount, a Cremello steed mount, or the Steed of the Red Dawn. I know, it's a hard decision, right? One of the steeds, you think? So that would be the Perlino steed, the Cremello steed, or the Steed of the Red Dawn. I can show you what each of those look like in the preview window. Collections, steeds. So Perlino looks like this. This was designed by a player a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And Cremello, very similar. Different blanket. Well, same design of the blanket, but different colors. And the Red Dawn is my personal favorite. Looks like this. Video Morph! How you doing, sir? And I do believe at least the Steed of the Red Dawn comes with the associated War Steed cosmetic appearances. Excuse me while I kill this thing. Hi. I'm doing pretty good. Did you see my wyverns on the server? I went and found a couple more. Actually, I gave Agoran a tour of the wyverns I had last night and then immediately went out. I said, I'm going to go over and go kill some embers. Or go find some embers. And wound up going to the Blood Wyvern area and picking up a black and yellow one. You go with the Red Dawn? Whenever somebody says Red Dawn, I think of Wolverines! The original, not the remake. Alright. Let me pop you a code in your Twitch Whispers. Real quick here. And please let me know if it works. Oh, you're watching... Wait, you're watching that Alpha Blood? Oh, kill it, please. Because there's nothing you can do with it except kill it. Because what happened was, I found a level 16 Ember, so I killed it. It spawned a 20, I killed that. So I just kept killing these lobies, like, there were mainly 20s and 16s, and then a 44. And then all of a sudden, the Alpha spawned, and I didn't realize it had spawned. I was looking around, and all of a sudden, it knocked me off my wyvern. I'm like, shit. I mean, what can I do with the Alpha, besides kill it? I mean, what can I do with it? Because you can't tame them. I mean, they don't drop eggs there. I mean, all it's going to do is it's going to drop, what, the crystal and the wyvern gloves, right? And what else could I do with it? Check your whispers, please, Tuba. Be so kind. Okay, why didn't I update the Locho sales? Video Morph with a sub! Oh, beautiful soul! Thank you. Much appreciated. I play Ark with Videomorph. Over on Devilore's subscriber Ark server. So you have to be a subscriber to Devilore to be able to get to play on that server. And it's very quiet. I just go there and tame or kill wyverns and make pretty wyverns. I should actually... What I really need to do is I probably, in the downtime between the festivals that I don't really care about, like the Christmas one I'm not too fussed about, the Valentine's one I do not give a shit about. I'm probably going to go in and start taking some wyverns out of the freezer and start breeding them. My eyebrows have grown back. They didn't go anywhere. I think Tuba's probably logging into the game to go check his stuff. Let's keep going to see if we can find the basement of this freaking thing here. This is like, actually, this part of one of my least favorite quests is like, where the hell is the basement? I just want to go to the bottom and find... Oh, it's that same freaking place. Here, get him. Go get him. Oh, when I accidentally burned you with a fire wyvern. That's okay. I punched Agoran last night accidentally. Wait, what are you doing? You stupid... They're like hirelings in DDO. Okay, so we can't go that way. Came around this way. See, I like the first half of this quest when it says go in there and kill 8 things. And then the second half of the quest I don't like. It's like, oh, go and find... Wait, what are you fighting back here? What did you do? I think my AI guy found... He fell down the hole. Dummy. He's coming up this way. Oh, hi. Oh, look at all the bats you just found. That's nice. You found all the bats. I'm just going to keep running until I find something that looks like an exit. Oh, hey, this looks like a way down. We didn't go here before. Oh, hi, bat. Code is good. Awesome sauce. You get a horsey. You get a nice horsey, actually. Again, that's one of my favorite ones. My guardian uses that horse because she's one of the few of my characters that wears red as her standard color. And I'm glad Chromite didn't actually see how badly I played my guardian last night, protecting Professor Corey. Though basically all I was really there to do is to keep shield wall on him so it's blue line. I've never played blue line guardian before, so I'm sure all the nuances were messed up. Plus the fact that it was a Valar character, and so the weapons I picked for it were the red line weapons. I was able to convince him to buy a Valar. So he was 120, so at least he was going to be resable, which was the main reason why I wanted him to get one. Because, well, he actually was kind of amused about getting killed by random things in the landscape. When we can't res him, it interrupts the flow of his lesson, where he can't continue his discussions of, you know, archaeology or whatever the hell, tapestries and whatnot. So it's very, very difficult. Hi, Chromite. So I saw some of your comments over in Stina's Discord about the investor thing, and I'm real interested about it. So if you want to... Oh, hey, there's our guy. If you want to dish on what you think about it, that would be cool. Just proposed stuff, nothing definite. Yeah. And that's really the thing is, I mean, it's also a year and change out, so... But the fact that they're considering it and would mention it to investors, who are generally very risk adverse, that was very telling in my book. Because if they weren't sure that they were going to move on that in some fashion, they wouldn't have mentioned it at all. Yeah, they have to do follow through. They also need to hire. They would probably, I mean, the way they were talking about, you know, the sort of graphics and technical upgrades they were talking about, I think they would have to double Standing Stone staff in order to make it happen. Because if you thought about it, somewhere in all that stuff they mentioned that Daybreak had 301 employees or something like that. And if you split that over, what, five studios, including the home office in San Diego, that's like 60 people per studio. And they're all managing multiple games. The fact that 60 people could put out multiple games like that in multiple studios, hell. It actually does kind of amaze me how much the team gets done with the resources they have at hand. And again, I can't say how many people are actually on the Standing Stone team. But it always amazes me how much shit they get done. Alright. Apparently Aiden in Ales and Tales chat is waiting on a movie about something. Alright. Alrighty. We're just catching up on the Black Book. We've seen it before. Not too fussed about... Why am I wielding the pickaxe? Yeah, I didn't really do a good job of this, if you look at that. Oh well. Alright, return to Durin. Oh god. Now I need to find my way back out of here. Help! Help! And we got about 45 minutes left, and then I will raid you on over to French Girl Gaming, who's on the official Locho channel right now. And I will be back on the official Locho channel myself on Friday afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. or whenever Corey is done till 6 p.m. Or beyond 6 if I feel like I need to do a little extra content. Oh, hi, little bat. Oh, die, little bat. Don't make new classes until current classes are fixed to balance. Yep, not gonna happen. They've already committed to making the brawler. It gonna happen, whether we like it or not. Wrong way, Clyde. But the reality of balanced classes is not even EverQuest has balanced classes, and they're 21 years old. Alright, let's see if I can just run out of here. Let's see if I can get out. Get out, wherever you are. See the young lady who fell from a star. She fell from a star, she fell very far. This does not look like I'm going up and out. Though I will be happy if they can do a graphics update so my character doesn't look like such an idiot wielding a two-handed weapon like that. Holy crap, that was bad. Okay. I'm lost, but that's alright. Hey, this is heading up. That's promising. That was not nice, you little bat. I'm gonna kick your ass. Will the hunters even notice the rotation? No. Quick shot, quick shot, quick shot. Come on. Though, hey, Chromite, I don't know if you saw, but on my show on Friday, this past Friday, I was playing my Redline Hunter, and I was actually enjoying it a lot. And my Redline Hunter is a 105 Valar, who had no gear except what came out of loot boxes. So she was super undergeared, but I got through most of the content. Oh shit! Double back on myself. Except toward the very end, as I was getting to 130. So she's now at level cap, and now I can actually start getting me some 130 gear for her. All right, I keep missing a turn. Okay. And this is one of those quests where you can't actually take a mithril coin to get where you need to go, which kind of sucks. Even if I had... See? I keep getting myself turned around. They should let you go out through that door and... Okay. Okay. Okay, here's the big room. Drip, drip. Water goes drip, drip, drip. Dead end. This is promising. Hello, little bat. Rude. Yeah, Ponton, I've noticed that with several of the characters, and you can, like, high elves are pretty bad about it too. Except this particular outfit isn't one of the ones, but some outfits this character wears, you can see right through their waist. Okay, this is where I'm getting myself screwed up. We haven't passed the hole yet. The hole on the way out. Insignia Mew is going to hell right now. Professor Corey is now live. Teaching Dante's Inferno. Might be promising. Did I see Doodley's new courtroom? I did not. What's the address? I'll stop. Oh, there's the hole. I can't wait till Wayward Plane gets here. Aha! Found the way out. And yes, I'm totally abandoning my minion. Apparently he's racing after me, causing a conga line. As you do. You posted a screenshot in the Danco D'Amelio Discord. Let me go look. Ooh. I like that. The blazons and the... No, the statues of Candide? Oh, that's so clever. That is pretty cool. Alright, let's go talk to Durin. Oh no, my ally needs to be reforged. What am I gonna do? It's the freaking bridle. Who cares about the bridle? Not I. Is it jail and judge's chamber too? Nice. It's Gandalf! A bunch of other dwarves. And Durin with the red axe. Look, Gandalf's got the book! The jail has a redneck hobbit from the Buckleberry Fair. Oh, man! He only has bread and water to drink? That's just... That's cruelty to a hobbit, man. That is so cruel to a hobbit. Only bread and water?
Look who it is! Are you acquainted with Gandalf the Wizard?
Yeah, we're good friends. We'll take this because even though it's not an upgrade, though that crit rating is really sweet. Yeah.
Gandalf has come to Scarhold with a small band of Longbeards.
Even Roster has come. What? He is the personal guard of my father the king. Unusual to see him so far from the royal seat. Oh. They're the red axe passed down from ancient days and wielded by my grandsire Dan Ironfoot in many battles. Aww, his daddy has decided he is worthy. So it's kind of like Thor getting Mjolnir.
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, he sounds so enthused to be here! Oh, yes, Gandalf was the wizard's idea that the red axe be sent. I don't know what you're talking about! Of course you didn't, you meddler. Okay.
A raiding party of dwarves sought to oppose Karisgard at the anvil.
Yeah, we didn't actually do that because we didn't do the raid. Ask him what happened to his raiding party. It won't be good. Because it's never good. Alright. 24 of us, armed with our finest weapons and our strongest armor. So this basically lets you know the story if you don't do the raid. Which I do not agree with the notion of having the finale to your big story be gated behind a raid. So I like this as an alternative. I honestly would prefer to have a full-on solo version of the raid. That way you still play through the entire thing, or as much of it as possible. But I don't agree with not having anything. Because not everybody can raid for whatever reason. Alright, so there's all kinds of story. Okay, he's to the southwest in the upper level. Rawr. So there's more Maid of Lions writings here.
Yes, I fought with Huren at the Anvil of Wintersteed.
There are corpses and more corpses and all kinds, and you saw it's the Vitha. The gluttonous breathe her last. Aww. Alright, ghostly figures of king long dead because they're dwarf whites. Eivor will tell you more. Domus is still despondent, apparently. Vivek is there. Oh, he's over here. Could have gone the other way around. You never done that raid? I have not done the raid either, as you can tell.
How much have the others told you of our expedition?
Cursed dragon magic. With his final breath, Vithog cursed Karazgar. Mother, avenge me. So Remil basically tried to have lunch at Karazgar. With Karazgar, have lunch of Karazgar, eat Karazgar, but we know that didn't actually happen. The raiding kin quit Lotra when Three Peaks was announced. We gotta go talk to Gandalf inside the chamber that's given to him, even though he's right there. Right there. I do have to say that Thorin gave Gandalf a much better room to stay in, I have to say. Anyway.
I think the dwarves are wrong. I believe Karazgar still lives.
I still want to see what happens at the epilogue of the Black Book of Mordor.
I have spent much of this time studying the Black Book, seeking to learn its secrets.
All right.
Listen well to my words.
This was a really good story. And again, Locho is
Allow my words to paint
again.
a picture for you, my friend.
I love
A
this
picture
whole
from long
thing.
ago.
This is such good content. The tome was written by a dwarf named Voan, the thrice great-grandfather of Keel, tail spinner. Voan was once of the Jelruka, kept the home in Yarnfast more than 1,000 years ago. So a great-grandfather, a thrice great-grandfather. So great. 1,000 years ago. So each dwarf would have had to have lived approximately 300 years or so. Vaughan himself appears in no other record that I have found. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's because he was wholly invented by Standing Stone Games. Alright. He writes in multiple languages using many different runic alphabets. Furthermore, some of these scrolls are clearly written using a cipher, or I am not a wizard. Curious gaps between some of the lines and on some of the pages, because you know all kinds of things about hidden letters and whatnot. The Fargathal was a thing. These are the halls of memory. And of course, we know that a lot of the dwarvish words were created by or otherwise consulted from our good friend the Dwaro Scholar. Which is why he not only has his name in the game credits, he has an NPC. This actually is now going to be fascinating for me because I know the story and now I can go back and actually focus on the beginning of this portion of the story. Like who Vowen was, who he knew, who he hung out with. Again, I love this. Oh my gosh. And here we are. It was to Mordor, but when did he go and why? And actually, the description of how Vowen wrote reminds me a lot of how J.R. Tolkien himself wrote, as his son Christopher relayed to us, and how Professor Corey has spoken of this at great length as well. Why does no one play the Legendary server anymore? We need some streamers over there. Well, Justin, until recently, I was playing on the Ithel server on the official Loto channel on Fridays, but then I came to the end of the Epic Quest there, so I might go back once they release more content there. But for now, I'm playing on my main server, because I need to get this character to level cap. Has obscured the identity of those involved. Game? Okay. Can I make sense of it? Maybe. Go back to the entrance. Okie dokie. Well, I think they still haven't decided how they're going to release the Gondor content. Because pretty much if they go to from 95 to 100, then all of a sudden they have to deal with imbued legendary items. And I think they kind of want to do something with LIs before they do that. At least that's what it sounded like during Severland's Q&A. And then they come to find out that the LI code is far more a pile of spaghetti than they thought it was. Because it's basically two systems on top of one another. Okay. But I'm Wizard, I'm Gandalf! Sudden inspiration knew there must be some element I missed, some kernel, and so there was. But it was actually nice to be able to play through the Helm's Deep story without actually having to do the epic battle. Because I soloed all of those back in the day. Because it's possible with the right classes to solo them without having to do all the setup that Chromite showed us how to do on the official. Ventured in the Great Mountains in search of lost Thargathal. Why did King Thrain agree to an expedition? His father Nain had been slain in Moria. That's not enough. And they also have to decide how much of the Gondor content they want to release at once, because if they go strictly by expansions, then the next expansion is Mordor. And there's way too much stuff between Helm's Deep and Mordor to just dump all of that. 2 expansions worth of almost 3 expansions worth of content in one swell foop. He gave up the search after only a few years and instead found an airborne beneath a lonely mountain. He's only a dwarf. It's my gold ear. My boon companions and I mean you no harm. We oppose the evil. All of the evil. There's evil in Gundabad. Yep, there is. The Goldiers made friends. So I'm looking at these guys and trying to see, do they look like who they eventually turn out to be? I don't think you can really tell. Ah! Scared the crap out of me, Gandalf. Was his elf disappear anywhere but in the black pages of the Black Book? He does. And the ethereal music reminds me of listening to soundscapes on Music Choice. Where are we? This looks very Mordorian. Outside of Owen's book, the name of Goldier appears only once. Almost 2,000 years before his encounter with Owen in the arid Mithrin, an elf named Goldier served beneath High King Gil-galad during the siege of Barad-dûr. His name appears in a list of elves who maintain the fortifications encampment called Ekkad in Edhill. Oh! Think about it, chat. Think about it. They were planning this long ago. Made of lions, you sneaky bastard. But survive he did, and for 2,000 years later he encountered Vowen. I say his Black Book has only raised further questions. You want a character tree from the Black Book to figure it all out? That'd be helpful. And here we are. Back in our personal space. I kind of wish we could dress up, or at least give this guy a new bow. That's like a cheap ass bow for such a well-dressed elven archer.
It is clear that Kiel's thrice great grandfather Voin has much yet to tell us.
If you can solve the mystery.
But I see we have a visitor.
I did not mean to cause offense.
Send you to him on the road to the Glimmer Deep with as much haste as you can manage, so we gotta go find the messenger. We get to go for a ride, chat! Let's go! I don't know if we're gonna get to the end of chapter 10. Or chapter 9 point whatever. Gonna break my own rule and ride my war steed in the middle of Scarhold because I don't like myself. I don't know. So we had a really good discussion today about the acquisition of Daybreak by EG7. Personally, the initials EG make me kind of giggle because they're the name of the last company I worked for. Except that was a company called Euro Garages based out of the UK. I worked for their American headquarters that was here in my hometown, which then decided to move to Westboro, Massachusetts. Ironically, about an hour from Standing Stone. That would have been actually kind of funny if they had offered my team... Wait a minute, which way are we going? If they had offered relocation to anybody on my team to go move to Massachusetts, I would have taken that up in a heartbeat. Would have been fun. So we got about 15 minutes left. We have a winner chicken dinner who has redeemed his code for a steed of the Red Dawn. And we still have the art raffle open, ! Snowballs. We'll get you entered into that, which, bear in mind, I am a little bit behind on drawing those. I just finished TD's September win the other night. I have not yet begun work on Kengus's, but that's my next project probably for after the stream. Or probably tomorrow when I'm not streaming. I'll be back on Friday on the official Lotro channel, twitch.tv/Lotro stream. Probably going to be doing some Lotro point giveaways on Friday because I have a shit ton of Lotro points left over from Weatherstock. I'm not going to give a ton away, probably just like 1 or 2 codes. However, there are vague plans that I might do a Christmas Day stream. And I do have permission from Cord to do some decent giveaways then as well. So, we'll figure it out. What is the snowball giveaway? That's a good question. The code is ! Snowballs to enter a raffle to have your character portrait drawn. If you're in any Discord that has Master AG of the Stewards band, then you can see the one that I did for him before I started doing monthly drawings. I also did one of Catriona and a one of TD. TD has not published theirs yet, but you can see the finished work on the VOD from the other day. And the code to join that raffle is snowballs. And I'll be drawing that at the end of the month. The last stream of the month.
I do not.
Find Frostrick tracks to the south along the road. Alright, we're going this way. I also really love this earth. It's got like, you know, the coloring is just all over the place. Love it. Okay. In great numbers heading south. We're going this way. And now you've gotten ahead of me. Partially hidden path leads up this way. We'll take it.
The tracks have led us here. We should climb this path and see where it goes.
Let's do it. Blood Wyvern is dead. Yes. What'd you get out of it? And it took you that long, Morph? Jesus. I mean, it was only level 16, but I figured it would take some doing. Even flying with a, you know, a level 200 something or other. Now, when I went to look at the wiki page on the Arc Wiki for those, it said, "Oh, it's an easy fight with an imprinted or high level blood wyvern." I'm like, wait a minute, can't you not injure this? Like, you can't use a blood wyvern to kill a blood wyvern unless you just chomp them to death. You can't use like their breath attack is aren't they impervious to their own breath attacks? Can I get in that cave, please? Hopefully it'll spawn a regular wyvern. Oh, you posted a pic in the server? Let me go look. Oh, it's dead and glitched, hiding in the air? Oh my god. So you didn't get any loot off of it, did you?
This must be Karsgar's lair. From where he
Okay,
makes his attack on
at least that'll be an upgrade for the purple. Except it's a parry and evade, and I really like that finesse and crit rating instead. You mother puss bucket. That's not an upgrade. A bunch of prime crystals? Nice. How many? Because were you supposed to get like a claw and a pair of gloves or something? Whereas the gloves, are those only for Scorched Earth? Alright, we're gonna search the lair. Dead Drake. Rust piles. Pools of blood. And hopefully it'll respawn with like a regular ember. Because what I was trying to do is to cause an ember to spawn with cool festival colors. Got them too? About 20 crystals? Oh man. Warm to the touch, not been dead for very long. Alright. You will automatically travel to Scarhold when you accept this quest, and I'll get a ring that is a definitive upgrade. Hell yeah. Well, it's definitely an upgrade to the Scion. Because I really don't want to lose that finesse and crit rating on the purple. Oh well. Let's go to Scarhold. Well, it said we'd go to Scarhold, but we didn't go to Scarhold. This is the exit of the escape tunnel. I thought it was collapsed. The rubble removed, cave mouth cleared. I do not like this. Who opened it up? Oh, you want us to go inside, you jerk?
This must be Karaskar's doing. We have to hurry.
Alright, we get to run back in here. Uh-oh. A dead Jelruka warrior. The bats are now frenzied. Where's my guy? Oh, you are back. You're shooting him. Okay. Back to the throne room. Oh my god. I don't want to go back there. Let's see if I can remember to find my way back to the throne room. Oh no! We shall lose Karaskar and then he died. Not this way. You go this way. Kill the bats. Hi, Thief Kitty! What you doing, kitty? I'm busy. Meow! A rust-sick claw, as opposed to a rustic claw. Hi. Hello, kitty. Got some Lotro points. Oh. You want to cuddle? Oh, there's 3 of them. Shit. Hi, kitty. Alright, let's see if I remember it was this way. And up this way. There we go. Chat. I now have a cat parked between me and the keyboard. Okay, there's the hole. Let's skirt around it this time, shall we? Alright, here we go. No, no! Oh no, come up, breathe, this is last. Did this all on his own without any help. Doran is in danger. Let's go get him. Let's go save Doran. Oh, you decided to have a fight outside Gandalf's room. This is going to go very well for you. Oh, snap! I am greater than Sauron. No, I don't think so. Karazgar. Sauron was a Maya. Give me the book. Not exactly in a position to demand things. Hi. Go get him! Bitch slapped by Gandalf. Run away, go get him! He flees, but his mask remains. Bring me the mask. It's like, wait a minute. Why? Can't you just take 2 steps and pick it up yourself, dude? Come on. Hi.
Karazgar has been shamed. but that does not remove the danger he poses.
I cannot stay here at Scarhold. Yep. So we're gonna take the 176. It's gonna replace the other Scion, simply because I don't want to lose the finesse and crit rating off of the purple. Bit of a bummer, but it is what it is.
I propose a new journey. We must bring the Black Book away from Scarhold.
Grimbjorn, so we go to the Bjorninghuis. Alright, let's go talk to... Well, actually, we're gonna call it there, in fact. It is time to go. Let me, first of all, put on my new toys. Remember, we weren't gonna use this one because it had parry and evade, which, you know, as a captain, I don't really need that. I need the finesse and crit more. And we're going to replace the Scion with a Scion. So, a bit of a bummer because I really did want to, you know, keep Scions going, but honestly, finesse and crit and then fate and physical mastery are better than having 2 rings, both with fate and physical mastery. So, good times. Do you want to go? Are you comfortable? The cat is comfortable, everybody. So, let us use this real quick. Again, we don't need that because even though it is an eye level increase, the one I'm wearing is actually a better item, so. That way I don't feel tempted to buy it. Okay. So that will call it for today. Thank you all for being here. I always appreciate having good company. We had good chat. Hanging out with my Locho and Nidio friends. And of course, my friends who play Ark. I'll probably hop onto the Ark server in a little bit. Or I'll do art or do something other than play Locho for a bit. I'm going to rate us on over to the official Locho channel so you can continue the Locho goodness with French Girl Gaming. And I will be back on the official Locho channel myself on Friday, and then I'll be right back here on Saturday. I don't know what I'm going to play, though. Or I might do art. We'll find out. We'll figure it out. In the meantime, you know the drill. Be good. If you can't be good at it. Let's do the outro, and I'll send you on over to FGG. GG.